I want to thank you all for the opportunity to join you here today in our state capitol for African Heritage Day on the Hill. I'd like to acknowledge and thank Governor Walz, Lieutenant Governor Flanagan, Attorney General Ellison, and the members of the United Black Legislative Caucus, Representative Rena Moran, Representative Hassan, Representative Noor, Representative Richardson, Senator Bobby Joe Champion, and Senator Jeff Hayden. It's really good to be in this room with all of you. And it's really good to be in this space with all of you. We all know that we live in a strange time. We all know that we live in a divisive and a challenging time. I believe we all probably even know that we live in one of those kinds of times that our children and our grandchildren will one day ask us about. They won't ask us about Donald Trump. They won't ask us about another political party. They won't ask us about other countries or what somebody else did. They'll ask us in this moment what we did, what actions we took. And you know, when our children ask those questions, they'll be demanding answers. My name is Melvin Carter, and I have the privilege of serving as mayor of the most incredible city on the planet. Of course, I'm talking about St. Paul, Minnesota. And I want to tell you this. I'm honored to be in this space. And as I'm in this space, I reflect on being in college. See, my first chance to vote in a presidential election, some of you have heard this story before, happened in the year 2000 as a student at Florida A&M University in the capital city of Florida. You may not know Florida A&M is a historically black college. It's one of the largest historically black colleges. And at the time I was living with my older brother, with my older sister, her husband, my brother-in-law, and their 2-year-old daughter. My brother-in-law said, listen, you need to come and vote with us today, so I did. This is the 2000 election, and if you remember Florida and hanging chads in election 2000, that's what I'm talking about. We first realized that there was a problem, that something was going tragically wrong. When we showed up and my brother got to vote, I voted and my sister voted, and my brother-in-law, who made me get in the car in the first place, who stood in line for 30 to 40 minutes with his voter registration card in one hand and his 2-year-old daughter in the other hand, were turned away from the polls. I remember thinking as a young student that I had read about stuff like this in our history books, but don't you know, these types of experiences are in our history. We don't have to argue our right to vote anymore. We don't have to argue our ability to be a part of the democratic process anymore. That's asked and answered. Not only is it asked and answered, but it's the key ingredient that makes America so amazing. Today, we still see things that are reminiscent of those divisions. We see today thousands of our community members who are disenfranchised from the vote by laws that do not allow people who have re-entered our community from incarceration to vote until they are off paper. That's work that this council is undertaking to change. Did you know that we can change that together?
Yeah.
I can't hear you. Did you know that we can change that together?
Yeah.
Families who have trouble staying together, and we need to do the legislative work required that this council is leading to ensure that we can keep our families together. Did you know that we can do that together?
Yeah.
And we have people in our community who are injured, who are killed due to gun violence. Did you know that we can get sensible policy together? Did you know that?
Yes.
So I want to thank you for your work. I want to thank all of you, because we know right now in St. Paul that the work of building a community, the work of building a city and a state that works for all of us isn't just work in our past. Just yesterday, if you watched the news, you saw a really troubling report, a video of an incident that happened in our own Ramsey County Jail. Did you see it? It showed a video of county deputies doing what can only be described as torture to a gentleman that was in their custody. That's a challenge for all of us. That should call all of us to the table, to action. And that should call all of us to say that in St. Paul, in Minnesota, in the United States of America, in the year 2019, not only do we not accept that type of conduct, but we fully expect our elected leaders to do whatever is necessary to make the use of force policy changes, to make the training changes, and to make the accountability changes necessary so that we can know we'll never see something like that happen again, and not in our state.
Yeah.
I want to tell you, we're working hard in City Hall to build a city that works for all of us. I'm excited about the work that we've been able to do to raise the minimum wage to $15 an hour, so no one in our city who works full-time is stuck living in poverty. Thank you. I'm excited that we've been able to triple the amount of free programming in our recreation centers. I'm excited that we've been able to eliminate late fees in our St. Paul public libraries. I'm excited that we've been able to invest a historic amount of money into affordable housing to connect families with the type of housing options that they need to be successful. I'm excited about our work for our children. I'm excited about our work for our families. I'm excited about our work for our streets and our sidewalks because our infrastructure is the lifeblood that connect our families to opportunity, whether that's a school or a job. But I'll tell you, above all of that, I'm excited to see you here in the Capitol. When I was on the city council, people would ask me, Brother Terrell, can I go to a meeting? Is it public? And I would tell them, it is not only public, you pay the rent here. This is your house. That's not a metaphor, in every sense of the word, this is your house. This is our house. This is our space. And do you know that our presence here speaks volumes? Our absence here speaks volumes. And I can tell you personally that I've seen in the halls of elected leadership, I've seen the outcomes of votes change based on who our legislators, who our elected officials are looking in the eyes when they make those votes. Your being here is revolutionary. Your being here is important. Your being here says plenty. But I know that that's not enough for us because we have some plenty of specific things to say here today as well. The last thing I'll say is this: I'm proud of our administration, all the things that we've been able to accomplish in just a little over a year. But I'm most proud of the way we've been able to accomplish it. It's been you. Every step along the way. So many of you have stepped forward as our leaders, as our champions, as our advocates, as our accountability partners to ensure that we're doing everything we promised we do in the city. And I'm counting on you to continue to be my teammate, both at City Hall and in this great body, so that we can ensure that we're not just building a city that works for all of us, we are truly building in Minnesota a state that we can be proud of because it works for every single one of us. Thank you so much for being here. I'm Melvin, and I appreciate you.
Yeah. All right.
Good afternoon, everybody. How are you feeling? We need no more dance. Also, can a brother get a box? Are people warming? Are you warming up now? Everyone, my name is Justin Terrell. I'm the Executive Director of the Council for Minnesota's African Heritage. I want to just say thank you for being here. Please give yourself a round of applause.
All right, Justin.
I don't know why we continue to live in Minnesota. We got racial disparities, we got snow, we got all kinds, but we here, right? We here. And I want to thank you for being here. Thank you. Please give a round of applause for Mayor Melvin Carter. We had the privilege of hosting Mayor Carter for the first time in this space last year and a year later. I just want to say thank you for all the work that you've done. I love that you're the cool mayor, the snowball fights and all that, but what I really love is that you are a tireless advocate for our people, for all the residents of St. Paul, but for Black folks especially. You have done something really remarkable for us. You've shown us what leadership looks like. You've shown us what hard work looks like. And I really want to just thank you for that. To our legislators in the room, if you are one of the many legislators who represents a voter in the state of Minnesota, could you please just raise your hand? Everyone, please give it up. This is Ruth Richardson right here. We have a room full of legislators. Please know that you will be heard today. The folks who have votes to cast are listening. Also,
I'm sorry, I just have to join him because I did something that I just cannot allow to stand, and that is this. I stood in this room and failed to acknowledge my mother, Ramsey County Commissioner Attorney Carter.
Commissioner Carter, thank you for all your work. you know that Angela Connolly was going to be here, and there's some other. If you are just one more time, elected officials, could you please just raise your hand? You must be hanging out. Oh, we got one here. Okay. They're hanging out behind me, apparently. Okay. So as we move through the agenda, I just want to say a couple things about the council. I just want to thank Chair Farah. We have our treasurer, Dr. Lawson, is here, as well as our vice chair, our former chair is here. You guys, the work of the council is really, we represent 425,000 people in the state of Minnesota. Just think about that for a minute. That's more than any Senate district, more than any House district. We represent every Black or African person in the state. And so, when we talk about you being here as a revolutionary act, that is real talk. That is serious business, because it is impossible for us to speak for you. We need you here, because we are not a monolith. We are a diverse, beautiful culture, and we need all of our voices to be elevated in this space. So thank you for being here. Please give yourself a round of applause.
Yeah.
And we can't do this work without partners. So I want to welcome Isaiah Dennis to the stage. Isaiah is the president of NPHC. If you don't know NPHC, it has something to do with Divine Nine. Does that sound familiar to anybody? Is anyone in here part of a Greek association? So, they're a lot louder down south. So I just want to welcome Isaiah to give a few words and remarks and shout out our people in the room. So thank you.
How we doing, everybody? Right. Hopefully we stay warm. I know we're in Minnesota, but it's going to be warmer here shortly. But again, introduce myself. My name is Isaiah Dennis, and I serve as the president of the National Panhandling Council, which is the governing body of the Divine Nine organization. And on behalf of the NPHC, I want to greet everybody here and welcome y'all for this event, not only as a rally, but a call to action. So, NPHC is the Black Youth Organization of the governing body that hosts all nine. And I'm going to say all nine, and I'm going to ask the organization to make that call, let everybody know you're here. In order of founding, we have Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated.
What, nine? 2, 6, 8, 5.
The ladies of Alpha, Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated. The men of Kappa Alpha Psi Fraternity Incorporated. The men of Omega Psi Phi Fraternity Incorporated. The ladies of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated. The men of Phi Beta Sigma Fraternity Incorporated.
Blue 5.
The ladies of Zeta Phi Beta Sorority Incorporated. The ladies of Sigma Gamma Rho Sorority Incorporated. And lastly, my fraternity, the men of Iota Phi Theta Fraternity Incorporated. Read the bill. But since our founding in 1930, with our mission to be all unified together on scholarship, leadership, service to our community, we also stand on one principle, which is the principle comes from the first principle of Kwanzaa, Boji, which stands for unity. Because we all come together, not only representing our communities, our state, our families, and ourselves. So I encourage everyone to use this time to not only connect with the legislators, but also advocate for the priorities, the concerns of your community, and also let keep this momentum going. Because one thing to speak about change, but another thing to be about the change. And why I say that is because this should not just be an only one-time event. We need to keep this moving forward. Continue these conversations. And really, in the words of all of us, who don't the right movement, they hang on in there, and I'm encouraging all of us to hang on in there for a change will truly come. So in the words of Maya Angelou, she said this: you may write me down in history with your bitter and twisted lies. You may draw me in the very dirt, but still like dust shall I rise. So let us rise above the trials and tribulations. Let us rise above the ignorance. Let us rise above the hate, and let us come together as a people. United as love, united in strength, united in power. So again, thank you for everybody being here, and I leave you with the words of James Baldwin, which he said, There's never a time in the future in which we will work out salvation. The challenge is in the moment. The time is now. So thank you.
Please welcome members of the United Black Legislative Caucus.
My name is Hodan Hassan. I am a freshman this year. I am proud to say I'm part of the United Black Legislative Caucus. And I just have a few words to say to you. This is your house, so welcome to your house. I hope this is not the last time you were here, and I hope it's not the first time you're here too. I want you to remember this. We work for you. You are our employer. So use us. Get to know your legislators. Electing them is one thing, but working with them is another thing. And we don't do that as black people. We just vote for people, and later on we'll say, what did you do for us? That's right. That's not how it works. We have to work with people, know the legislation that they're working on. How does that impact us as a community, the black Minnesotans? You need to ask that question every legislator you talk to. What they're working on, and how does that impact our community? People that look like you and I. Minnesota is the best state, but guess what? It's also the worst state for people that look like us. So we have the best and worst in one. We're going to change that, right? Yeah! The six of us, it's the first time in Minnesota history that we have 6 legislators in the House and Senate. 6 may not be a big number, but we're mighty people. And we're going to move mountains. Are you with us? Yeah. All right.
Good afternoon, family. My name is Hayden, and I am State Senator for Senate District 62, right in the heart of South Minneapolis, South Side. Hey, listen, I want to thank you guys for being here. As Representative Hassan has said, there are 6 of us. Representative Mohamud, Noor from South Minneapolis, Representative Hodan, Hassan, myself. You're going to hear from the great Senator Bobby Joe Champion, as well as Representative Ruth Richardson, and you saw Representative Rena Moran, and that does constitute the United Black Legislative Caucus. As Representative Hassan has said, there's never been so many black people to represent you here in the State House as we have today. Right? I think that's worthy of applause. Right? So I want to make sure you know just a few things that I'm going to highlight and have the privilege of letting my good friend Senator Champion talk about a lot of the things that he's working on. But one of the things that I think we should be thinking about, and is really near and dear to my heart, is the Minnesota legislature selects who represents us and who governs the University of Minnesota in the form of its regents. Right? So that's really important, that the folks who represent us, the folks who say, here's how the university should work, is called a regent. Now, about 50 years ago, in 1969, there's some folks around here who were working awfully hard because we had no representation at the University of Minnesota on the governance side. As a matter of fact, we didn't even have degrees or many classes that represented our ethnicity or our history. So a group of forward-thinking folks at that point, and very angry and fed up, in 1969 said, forget it, we're going to go over there and we're going to stop the regents meeting and we're going to hold them accountable. And what came from that after a long standoff, the very well chronicled, was this issue of we got things like having a degree program for African American studies and other ethnic studies. The other thing that we got out of that kind of negotiation through the process was to be represented by Dr. Josie Johnson. How many people know her? get a student regent of color. He happens to be here today, right? Regent Abdul Amari, right? So Regent Amari, not only was a student, he's a South Minneapolis person that's received all his degrees. I should call him Dr. Abdul Amari because he got a PhD from the University of Minnesota, right? That's phenomenal in of itself. So Dr. Amari said that he wanted to go from student regent to the regular, to the regent that sits with everybody else, right? And so some of the things that he's done is to put forth resolutions and policies to increase the folks that go to University of Minnesota. I'd say less than 2% of the folks that go to University of Minnesota are African American from Minnesota. Once again, we got another disparity we didn't even know that we had. So he's put forth pieces and resolutions to say that that's what he wants to do. He also, as a student regent, led the process when Eric Kaler, the president, said that he was going to step down. He led the process as a student to find the new regent, and he successfully did that, and we have the first woman president the University of Minnesota's ever had. So he said, you know what, I think I can do this with the work that I'm doing, and I can move forward and serve another term. Oh, but the folks around here thought that somehow he wasn't worthy of that. So when we started putting through the process, his name wasn't getting forward through this convoluted process we have at the legislature. They said that he didn't have enough experience. What? They said maybe his resume wasn't long enough, right? So we as the United Black Legislative Caucus, along with the People of Color Indigenous Caucus, said we ain't going for that. That's right. Right? We gonna fight hard and we gonna work as hard as we can to put this brother through. So as we're having these deliberations, right, I told one of my colleagues that this is like Jackie Robinson crossing the color barrier in baseball, and we still got Jackie Robinson there. And you don't want him to go through, right? So that was 50 years ago. So I say that to say, and there's a whole bunch of other things that I can talk about, but I want to point out to you very clearly that if we don't fight, if we don't organize, if we don't come together, and we don't push hard, we're not going forward as progressives, we're going backwards as black people. Right? We're going backwards. So I will say to you, stand tall with us, pray for us, surround us, but better yet, go and talk to your elected representatives and let them know all of the things that are on our agenda. But I wanted to highlight this brother live and in the flesh. Look at him, he's right there, y'all. We can touch him. Live in the flesh, that we want him to be part of. And we have some other candidates as well, but today we talk about black people. That we want him to be part of this process that allows our children to take advantage and get the skills that we need in the 21st century in order to survive. The demographer, when we first got here, Senator Champion and I, Gillespie said that America or Minnesota is getting grayer and browner, right? And we represent the brown in that. And if we don't get, and I say this to all of my white allies out here, if you keep keeping us out of these opportunities, then this state is going to fail. And I'll leave you with what I've been saying all month long. If it's good for black people, it's good for Minnesota. Thank you.
Good afternoon. Let me just say that I was a little disappointed when I came around the corner because we are in the house, but I can't hear us be happy that we're in the house. Are we in the house? Now, I heard Senator Hayden say Southside, and it was quiet. But let me show you how this happened. Northside! Let me say how excited I am that each and every one of you are here. Because it is important for you to be here so that we can see your face. Because when it says we the people, the Constitution, it includes us. And we know that it is important for you to be here because this is your house as well. These laws and things that we talk about every day, we want to make sure that we put a face to every number. So let me just briefly, because I know that you are ready to do some other things, and I totally understand it, and I'm happy that you weathered the blizzard one of the things that I've been working on is called Restore the Vote. There are 57,000 people who are living in our community who cannot vote, who are paying taxes, who are doing everything like every other person, but they can't vote. And I believe that they should have the right to vote. That is the bedrock and the basic when it comes to our democracy. Anybody else believe that we should be voting? And all people should vote? Now, some people think that's just a north side or urban issue, but in fact, that 57,000, 64% of those folks come from outstate Minnesota, while only 36% come from Hennepin and Ramsey County. So that is important. One of the other things that I'm fighting for is those people who've lost their parenting rights, that we can reestablish their parental rights from child protection. Anybody else believe that to be important too? Too many people lose their rights. And there's a little provision that's called Minnesota Statute 260C.329 that talks about one's right to vote. But the way it is being ushered in right now, only the county attorney's office can petition the body, and the child has to be 15. I want to change that because too many of our children are ending up in child protection, and parents who believe and feel like they can re-engage and raise their children should have the opportunity to raise their children. So the list goes on and on, just from some of the things that we're working on in order to make sure that we improve your quality of life. Last and certainly not least, this state spends a whole lot of money when it comes to making sure that other people have the training and support that they need around GEDs or education. I am continuing to champion this equity bill because we need to make sure that the resources our community needs, we get those resources so we can put people back to work and people can be in the workforce. So with that being said, I'm Noor here, representative, and let's give him a hand as he comes forward.
Thank you so much, Brother Champion, Senator. I'm really honored to be with you all this afternoon. Whatever that the senators have already said, we've got work to do. We have a lot of work to do, and this is just the beginning. When we talk about our kids in the education system, the system that is failing them, when we see the system that takes our kids from school to prison to deportation for some of them, when we get our kids from their homes and take them to places where they cannot be, we need to start dismantling the system that has been keeping our kids from. When we talk about home ownership, we've got some challenges that we face every single day. You see, they talk about 40%, it's even less than 40% that the people of color, especially the black community, own homes. We need to increase that to 60–70% just to be part of everybody else. But we're investing the resources in other communities, forgetting about where it needs to be invested. Home ownership should be the starting point. That's where the homework begins. So we need to make sure that the resource that we allocate this year and moving forward, that it reflects that we've moved away from the status quo to a change that we can visibly see and measure and hold them accountable. And we will do that. We need your support with that initiative. When the criminal justice system isn't meant to work for all of us, that the wealthy and well-connected individuals can walk away from jail, and the black and brown individuals and the low-income individuals, because they cannot pay cash bail, they're left to stay in the jails, that they lose their homes, they lose their jobs, they lose their custody of their children. I had introduced the bill, and Senator Champion is carrying the bill in the Senate. We will make sure that we dismantle the criminal justice system that incarcerates our kids, families. With so many people who are looking for employment, especially in the healthcare department, when they're excluded just because there is no conviction, they were arrested by the police, or they have expunged their record, and yet they're being told that you cannot work in direct care in the human services. We are going to go after them and get them on the equal value. When we build the rails and the barriers, we're here to make sure that those barriers no longer exist for all of us. So what I'm asking you, it's about healthcare, it's about education, it's about housing, it's about our kids. We are all Minnesotans. We may have different stories, we may have different experience, but this is our home, this is our state. So I'm asking you to join us to make sure that the fight we're taking to the capital, that we are here, that your voices are heard, that our initiatives are brought to the table with some clear and making sure there's intentional investment. We talk about investment in our communities. We want to see those investments take us to the next level, that we can own the big corporations, we can create our economy that works for all of us. So thank you so much for being with us.
Please, one more round of applause for the United Black Legislative Conference. There are 200 legislators in this body, and 201. And out of 201, we got 6. So that means all 6 of them need y'all to back them up on every policy that they're pushing. So check out the website, visit their pages, show up to committees, send them emails, make sure our black legislators know they got people behind them. Can y'all do that? Yeah. All right. So I want to welcome back to the stage Chair Farah and our treasurer, Dr. Fatima Lawson. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Durham. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Can you hear me? Can you see me? It's my honor to present the award to council members who have really gone above and beyond the call of duty to make sure that they represent all of us in the different areas that they're supposed to. And first on that list is actually Olivia Jefferson. She's not here, but I'll just tell you a little bit about why she really is deserving of this award. And she served on the board for us, and during her tenure, she was actually a secretary. She was a great contributing member and worked on revising our bylaws. Olivia Jefferson. She's not here, but please give her a round of applause. Next is actually our former chair, Nasir Musa. He served on the board for a term. He was a member of the search committee for the last executive director. And during that time, he really made sure that we had a cohesive and collaborative board. And actually, attendance at meetings went up, thanks to his hard work and dedication. So we thank you very much, and we appreciate your hard work. Last but certainly not least is Representative Rena Moran, who has already been recognized, but then we are also awarding her with a certificate. As you know, she is one of the longest serving board members, and she is now leaving us to chair a very, very important committee in the legislature. During her time, one of the most important things that she did is that she was very instrumental in redesigning this board to what it is. She almost single-handedly, from the legislative standpoint, worked to make sure that we are held accountable for the work that we do on behalf of our people. So, Representative Rena Moran again with this award. Thank you very much, everybody, and thank you for being here.
She didn't say anything about herself. I'm going to add a few words. Dr. Lawson, who also has been with the council 2 terms. What's that? 8 years? 10 years? Long time. Dr. Lawson has served as the treasurer for the last 2 years. Sorry. First of all, I am so excited about together. People are using divisions within the African community to get further. What's happening in this room today makes me super excited. And I'm kind of jealous that I'm not a part of the fraternity because that was super cool. But we have to remember the goal. We have to remember for past generations and future generations are relying on us, on the members of the council, on the past members of the council, on the future members of the council, on the staff, on our legislatures, on our administration, and each and every one of you here today. We all have an obligation to our kids. We all know about the racial disparities. We all know that, Minnesotans of African heritage are in prison 10 times. Our unemployment rate is double that of white Minnesotans. We know all of that. Now it's time for us to work. So I am so happy to hear everything, and I'm so happy to see everybody here. I know it's chilly. I'm chilly in here. But I think the energy in the room should leave everybody wanting to do more and asking for more from all of your legislatures, asking for more from your council members, from your school board members, from your teachers, from your employers. With that said, I want to say a few things about the next speaker. I am super excited about the work that the council wants to do with our next speaker. Our next speaker has vowed to reduce racial disparities in Minnesota. He has vowed and promised to address educational disparities through increase in school funding and support for community schools. He has showed his continued support for the Council of Minnesotans of African Heritage and all of the other affinity councils. Without further ado, I want to invite to the stage our 41st governor,
Good afternoon, everyone. I have the thing that everybody has going around since it's February, but first of all, let me say thank you. Thank you for caring enough about this state to take time away from work, from family, from children, from everything else you're doing, to come here and speak a truth that all of us in this building know, that until every single child, every single person has a chance to achieve that dream that they find most important, and that equity and inclusion become the air we breathe, not just the words we give at speeches, Minnesota will not achieve our full potential. So being here, making that case is absolutely critical. So thank you for that. You heard us say it, and Lieutenant Governor Flanagan and I have made a case of this. I'm a public school teacher. I am very proud of what Minnesota is able to do in education, and they oftentimes say how high our graduation rates are, or how well we do. And the fact of the matter is, we do really, really well if you're a white kid going to school in Minnesota. We're nearly the worst if you're a child of color. That stain is not just a moral stain, it's an economic impediment that this state will continue to fall further behind. So when you heard that we made this a commitment, and when you make a commitment, there needs to be actions behind it. When I talk about a budget is a fiscal document, but it's a moral document. If you do not see investments and putting our money where our mouth is on the issues of not just creating a human rights commission to say we did it, but infusing safeguards of equity and inclusion from everything we do, from educating our kids to every road we build to how we think about housing. And if it does not include the input of the communities impacted, you can be certain we will fail and it's just lip service. So when you heard them say, and I'll continue to say it, I should be judged by my actions and this administration should. If we are not able to close achievement and opportunity gaps, we have failed not only you and your children, we have failed Minnesota. We do it with the folks who know how to solve the problems. We move resources to people who know what they need to do. We measure and hold people accountable, because if you don't measure it, you truly don't care about it. And if you truly aren't willing to show outcomes, then you are not willing to reach those outcomes. We all know that's the case. So my pledge to you as the governor of Minnesota, to ensure that every child, black, white, brown, or indigenous, gets that opportunity to quality education. Every single person in this state, black, white, brown, or indigenous, gets the opportunity at health care that's affordable and accessible and is a basic human right. And that every single person in this state, black, white, brown, or indigenous, gets the opportunity to achieve the dream in the communities that they choose to create, in the way that they choose to make them. That's the way. Here's the thing. A lot of this seems, and I know it's hard, there are people in this room, and their shoulders of giants that we're standing on have been fighting these same fights for decades. And I'll tell you, it took me till I was about 40 years old to figure this out. Because like so many of us, it seems like you'd see a problem, you would approach it, and you would solve it, and you would move on. But the thing that I found out again, and this is both the most frustrating thing, and it's one of the most, I would say, heartfelt privileges I have, and that each of us have, is that every generation is called upon to renew that faith. Whether it be workers' rights, whether it be civil rights, whether it be environmental rights. The fights we thought were won get fought in every generation. So those of you who are gray-haired here, you're back again at the same damn fight. And I know it's frustrating, but you know what? It's the same privilege now as it was then, and it's just as important now. Those of you who are young and thought you read about heroes in the history books, you are the heroes we're waiting for. You are the voices that we're writing about. So it's not a cliche. Tell truth to power in this building. Ask for accountability. Ask for how do we empower leaders in our communities. Follow through with it. And then let's decide that Minnesota can do this different than other places. And I've said this time and again. I came back from the United States Congress because we know what's happening there. No one's going to lead right now, or at least not in large numbers. But if they won't lead, you'll lead. That's why you're here today. You're here leading. We're not waiting for future leaders. Everybody in this room's a leader. We're not waiting for tomorrow. And just tell you, the fierce sense of urgency to close these opportunity gaps, to provide the opportunities for all of us, is here now. So go out there, make the case. We're here to partner with you. The governor, in many cases, you need to have a seat at the table, but guess what? Many people don't know where the damn table is. And then once they find it, and it's funny, they keep moving the table around. Because once you find it, they'll move it. And what you don't need is you don't need the governor or an elected official sitting at the head of the table in every decision that's made. What you need the governor to do is call the conversation and help provide the resources and then turn you loose. So get up there, let's do this. Thank you.
Thank you, Governor Walz. Yo, please. Something that Representative Noor says that I really appreciate is specific remedies for specific problems, right? And I think we've been talking about this racial disparities issue for a long time, right? But we need some specific remedies for specific problems. Y'all feel me on that?
Yeah.
So, with that said, I want to just introduce Tish Jones and welcome Tish Jones to the stage to share some spoken word with us. Two things you got to remember: you cannot have a movement without art and without young people. I don't know how old Tish is, we ain't going there, but you got the art piece covered for sure, and I know you got the young piece covered because the young people you work with in the community are always inspired by you. So I want to give you that respect and that love and welcome you to the stage to share your gift with us.
Thank you. This poem is written in memoriam for Trayvon Martin and Philando Castile. 7 years ago today, Trayvon Martin lost his life. Trayvon Martin was murdered, so I feel it important to honor him. I'm going to do that through this poem, and also just say that the caveat before I begin is that our liberation is intricately connected to one another. The poem is titled Blueprints for Survival, Black. The world can't see you until you can't see yourself. Smile, wide with soft eyes, look into the mirror, practice your high until you get it just right. Make the octave just high, firm handshakes but not too tight. If you know the solution, play stupid, you know we ain't supposed to be too bright, right? Dressed like the rest of America, only America is synonymous with cis, hetero, and white upper middle class. That's the dress code needed to pass and hide within or survive when 7 years ago today a young brother's life had to end. For the hoodie he shielded himself from the night in. Almost wore a hoodie today. One listing all of my fallen ancestors' names, but I ran out of space, feeling out of place here, where some fears don't fade as fast as memories. As scared as you are of me, I am of what your fear might provoke you to do, so I smile, over-enunciate, articulate myself to the nth degree, look you in the eyes when I shake hands, still say yes, sir, and thank you, ma'am. No blind spot, and I teach my nephew to drop his toys and raise his hands, yelling, don't shoot here. Someone else's fear becomes fact if you're black. You become prison industrial snack when black. They chew us up, spit us out, unable to come back after that. Whole family under attack, no longer intact or worse. We become a memory or a hashtag if we don't act like we know our place. It's a race here to shift away from this made-up concept of race to a people suffering a race-based experience fueled by hatred, ignorance, apathy, and greed. A resistance to seeing one another as exactly what we need to thrive. Collectively, we are the solution we seek. Collectively, we are the solution we seek. So allow us to be seen here. We are immaculate descendants, fruit grown from the strangest trees, popular until we take a knee. The one thing they cannot kill is our ability to dream. So imagine this place, a space for you to be safe in. Claim your future and shout it into the wind. Resist all the boxes they try to stuff you into. Here, we can be the first black mayor of a major metropolitan city. Here, we can be Muslim and in Congress. Here, we have a strong body in the legislature. It's growing. Here, we can make a change. Imagine more. Imagine Rondo again, thriving in 2,210, where young babies do backspins. The progressives, the prayers of ancestors on their back when over 94, where their physical shells had existed before. You see, you have to know where you have been to ascend and move forward. Imagine a place here. Philando wouldn't have stopped. He would have driven home. His wise set nose fitting the description of a king, not a criminal. Here, we don't give vouchers to push us out the city after natural disasters. Here, gentrification is on pause. We own all of ours. They want us to. They want us here. Black folks exist beyond white fear, white guilt, and white tears. In fact, we figured out an equitable way to coexist. We stand shoulder to shoulder with our allies when we resist. Here, there are no policies about our hair. Our children are not subject to be shaved or expelled for wearing braids. Here, we walk the streets smelling like cocoa butter and wave grease because self-love is celebrated, self-care is beautiful, and we have time for it. Imagine a Minnesota where each child has the resources they need to succeed. If we invest now, we see a future bright with positive energy. Imagine long enough to believe it possible, to draft the plan, to stomach your fear and lean in. Imagine a future in which history doesn't repeat. In which history doesn't repeat. The table is welcoming enough for everyone to take a seat. Imagine a Minnesota where we can speak truth freely from any platform and not be a target. Bullseye on back. Imagine for one moment that it's safe to exist, Black. Envision it. Now act. Thank you.
Hello, everybody. So give it up for Tish Jones. Thank you so much. So the council, just so you know, we for the first time in over a year, we are fully staffed. Yeah. So I just want to shout out Patrice Bailey. Where you at, Patrice? All right. Patrice is our outreach coordinator. Shakira Bradshaw, where you at, Shakira? Shakira's our office manager. She's the reason why our bills get paid on time. All right. And this right here is Jasmine Carey. She is our legislative coordinator. Yeah. So when we talk about words where she's going to say a few words about visiting with your legislators today. Thank you, Jasmine.